Welcome back, everybody, to the Nevin Shapiro Show. I'm Mike Torado. I'm back with Nevin Shapiro, and today is going to be a full breakdown of the 2019 LSU Tigers and the 2001 Miami Hurricanes. Over this weekend, our video went completely viral on this whole topic, and we had hundreds of comments, thousands of shares based on who's better. There's obviously LSU fans, Miami fans you guys are attacking each other in the comments. So we figured why not break it down and let Nevin, who was involved at the program that time and was there seeing it first sight, to really break it down for you guys. So before the video starts, please click that subscribe button. We're dropping videos every week for you guys. And as always, let's get into the action. A lot of comments regarding Ken Dorsey sucks. Joe Burrow's way better. They would hang 50 on us because of Jefferson and Jamar Chase. Go away on them.
Who the fuck are you guys kidding? Seriously, LSU, I got love for Louisiana people, man. I got a lot of friends from New Orleans. But this is about college football and a specific time and a specific team. 2019 LSU, they had an incredible regular season. They were arguably the best passing offense in the history of college football. Who disputes that? I don't think anybody in their right mind. Joe Burrow, who I love, by the way, as a player and now in the league. But let's keep this shit in the proper perspective, shall we? Okay. They had four players that were very, very dominant offensively. Three offensively. Burrow, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, and then the fourth guy probably from the defensive side of the ball was Derek Stingley, even though he was only a freshman at that time. But as far as them hanging 50, I got plenty of time to get into this stuff, and I'm gonna get into it. And I'm like, this is not even for the University of Miami fan base. This is for the common sense college football fan. When I drop what I put together, and I've been doing this for a while because I can't even believe this is an argument. LSU had an incredible year. From a record standpoint, I think they had the best record in the history of college football. They went undefeated 15 games or whatever it was because they played more games. That's the way the playoffs are set up. But we're going to really pump your brakes, and we're going to really get into this. But for anyone to think that Ken Dorsey sucks, let me make this point to you. He's 34-2 as a starter. That is the best record in the history of college football for starters with 30 starts or more, percentage-wise. I know the fact checkers are Googling away. Go do your thing. I applaud that. You should. He's got the highest winning percentage of any starting quarterback with 30 starts or more in the history of college football. Was he Joe Burrow? No. And our offense wasn't set up to be like LSU's. We were a 50-50 run, well-balanced team with a defense that's hellacious. And I'm going to get into the details and the individuals as we go. Did you have any other questions for me before I go on my tirade?
Pretty much. I just want you to go into the comparisons at this point. Just go into it.
I don't really need this, but I'm going to do this for very specific edification. 38 players drafted from that University of Miami squad. Anybody that was on that roster, 38 players got drafted. That doesn't include free agent signings. That's players that got drafted, 38. LSU 32, very, very strong comparison. Still 6-player difference, but strong comparison. 14 players taken in the draft by LSU the year they won. I don't remember exactly how many Miami had, but we were such a young team still that there was still talent coming back. So 17 first-round picks on that Miami squad. 17. 8 first-round picks on that LSU squad. Not just 17 to 8. Let me go into the depth of that 17 and that 8. To this point in time, and of course, let's be fair, LSU has not finished their professional careers. For the most part, they have, and there's a few guys left which have a chance to do multiple Pro Bowls from where they are today. But the Miami crew's done, and they're out of league. 46 Pro Bowls. Now, I could be off 1, I could be off 2. My margin for error should be very, very short. 46 Pro Bowls started or on Pro Bowl roster from those Miami players. 46. To this point in time, 15 Pro Bowlers for LSU. That would also mean the 4 guys that I'm talking about from LSU, Jamar Chase, Stingley, Burrow, and Justin Jefferson. So if each one of them play another 9 years each, and go to 9 straight more Pro Bowls, they'll just match Miami. They'll match them. But let's go into the next thing. My personal assistant here, who responds to some of my messages because I'm on timeout from my own handle, responded to an LSU fan about Hall of Famers. So let me be clear. There's 0 Hall of Famers today. Let's be fair. LSU still has time to get there. At this current pace, Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson are likely heading that way. They're trending towards the Hall of Fame, would you say?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Joe Burrow still could. He's got 1 Pro Bowl thus far. And Derek Stingley could get there eventually. So let's say we know they're not going to do any better than 4. Devin White's nice. Patrick Queen is nice. But it's highly unlikely they're trending towards the Hall of Fame. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
No chance.
No matter what, LSU at most could get 4. Now here's Miami's Hall of Famers. Not maybe, they're in. Ed Reed, in. Andre Johnson, in. Frank Gore, 3,000% going in, first ballot. Vince Wilfork, definitely going in. And Sean Taylor, can we all agree, everybody, even if you're an LSU fan, Sean Taylor still might get in posthumously, but if he doesn't, God forbid, get killed, is he not going? He's arguably the best safety ever. Arguably. We never even saw him. He played a few years. 3 years, maybe 4. Guy was incredible. Incredible. Okay. That's the personnel rundown as it relates to Pro Bowls. Now let's look at the individual teams. Miami averaged 44 points a game, just about. I'm just rounding off 43.9. LSU averaged 48. Very comparable. They threw the ball 100 times a game. Miami didn't. That wasn't their style. Okay. LSU gave up 22 points a game. Miami gave up 9 points a game. To be fair, LSU played in the SEC, a much better conference than what Miami played in. So it's going to tilt the scale some. I acknowledge that. Okay. Sacks. Miami had 39 sacks on the year. They only played 12 games. LSU had 39 sacks. They played 15 games. Close, but not really close. Miami gave up 4 sacks for the whole season. LSU gave up 25. Why is that important, Mike? It's important because everyone thinks Joe Burrow was just going to be playing catch. Oh, ho-hum, I'm playing catch with my guys. Here we go. Let me read for the common fan. LSU's top, I tried to get more players, but I couldn't. Let me read LSU's top 12 to 15 players. And I want you to hear the list for a reason. Once you hear the list, allow me to read Miami's list. Common fans, maybe you're not even an LSU fan. You tell me. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Derek Stingley, Devin White, Patrick Queen, Clavon Chazon, Edward Clyde-Hilaire, Grant Delpit, Greedy Williams, Terrence Marshall Jr., Christian Fulton, Ed Ingram, Blake Ferguson. In my opinion, once you get to Devin White, you're at 5. I don't see where the quality is. Let me give you Miami's roster. Ed Reed, Vince Wilfork, Sean Taylor, Andre Johnson, Frank Gore, Clinton Portis, Willis McGahee, Jeremy Shockey, Kellen Winslow, William Joseph, Jerome McDougal, Antrell Roll, John Vilma, DJ Williams, Rocky McIntosh, Brian McKinney, Vernon Carey, Mike Rumpf, Phil Buchanan, Kelly Jennings, Roscoe Parrish. Like, seriously, what the fuck are we talking about, man? Do you think Joe Burrow and 2 receivers were going to beat Miami? Sean Taylor, God rest his soul, and he was a freshman. He would have fucking punished Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson off the line, especially in the rules in those days. Plus Ed Reed. You can arguably make a case that Ed Reed and Sean Taylor are the 2 best safeties in the history of professional football. Sean didn't play long enough. Ronnie Lott would probably be the 3rd guy I would put in that mix. Maybe a guy like Troy Polamalu. But can we agree? Ed Reed and Sean Taylor, 2 of the 5 best safeties to ever play.
Absolutely. I don't.
Ever?
If somebody disputes that,
ever,
I just don't.
Okay, so do you think? I'm not even done with my point. Do you think those guys are going to be running open? Hey, I'm wide open. No. What about our defensive line? Okay. Vince Wilfork, going to the Hall of Fame, coming off the bench. William Joseph would have been a top 10 pick, came back his senior year, cost him probably 20 spots in the draft. Okay. He was a guaranteed top 10 first round pick. So Jerome McDougal, first round pick. So you got 4 guys that are carrying 1,300 pounds. Man, we would have fucking crushed that offensive line. How's Joe Burrow throwing from his ass? Be practical, man. Oh, we would have scored. You weren't going to score. let me make a point here. LSU, I had a chance to look at their schedule because their offense was hella offense. They gave up 1,500 combined yards to the Gators at home. They played in LSU. They played at Texas, and they played at Alabama. Definitely difficult scheduling, no question about it. They gave up 1,500 yards. Miami didn't throw the ball. That wasn't how we're built. We run the ball. We have balance. There's a reason why. Here's LSU's running game. Everyone's quick to point out how many yards Joe Burrow had. Edward Clyde Hilaire, his NFL statistics, 1,891 yards and 12 touchdowns. I applaud that. Except the fourth guy in our unit, Najee Davenport, had 1,819 yards, just about the identical amount, and 13 touchdowns in the NFL. But now let me give you the other three guys. Clinton Portis, 9,923 yards, 75 touchdowns. Willis McGahee, 8,474 yards, 65 touchdowns. These are only rushing touchdowns, not receiving as well. And Frank Gore, if he's not the second, he's the third-time all-time leading rusher, 16,000 yards, 81 touchdowns. So Miami's running game in the NFL, players from that team, 36,216 yards and 234 touchdowns. And Edward Clyde Hilaire, less than 2,000 yards and 12 touchdowns. So if you're doing a real analysis comparison, how would you rate that? 100% to 0?
It's not even on the same planet.
Every NFL scout, because the people that matter aren't the fans. The people that matter are the NFL guys. Who could you say LSU had an advantage over as an individual? You would say probably Joe Burrow over Ken Dorsey. I would agree with that. It hurts. Dorsey did. But Joe Burrow had probably the best college year I've ever seen. I'm going to give him that. Receivers, you can't tell me Chase or Jefferson are better than Andre Johnson because he's officially in the Hall of Fame. Right?
Yep.
Should I even go to the defense? I mean, that's like you get a parking ticket and they give you a contempt of court because you don't show up. LSU can't show up to that party.
Right.
There's no comparison.
So let me go over this. So two points. One, the Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase point that we've seen in the comments is that, and I can agree with this to a point, it's a 2-for-1. So if one guy is, let's say they're keying on Chase, that leaves the other guy more open in that regard.
And let me give you a quick response before you even finish your point. Okay. If we had bozos in the secondary,
yeah,
we only had 6 first-round picks back there. 6 first-round picks. 2 of them going to the Hall of Fame. 2 out of 6. 1/3 of our secondary is going to the Hall of Fame. One's in. One should be in. What are we talking about? Ed Reed, Sean Taylor. Let's just talk about the starters. Ed Reed, Hall of Fame. Phil Buchanan, first-round pick. Mike Rump, first-round pick. James Lewis, third-round pick. Off the bench, Sean Taylor, first-round pick. Antrell Roll, first-round pick. Kelly Jennings, first-round pick. Al Marshall, fifth-round pick. All 8 guys in that secondary. NFL. Defensive line? Well, we've already covered that. 8 guys? 8 guys in the NFL. Cornelius Green tore his knee. He's out. Orion Harris was a backup. He ends up getting in. 8 of our 9 guys on the defensive front. NFL. Is this even a comparison? What are we even talking about? And this isn't for the 95 Nebraska fans who, by the way, do you think Tommy Frazier was going to run for 300 yards against us? Calm down. No way. No chance. No how. And for the commentary that Ohio State put an end to this thing, you guys know, you can look in the mirror and you know you didn't win that game. Like, you know that, right? And by the way, our 2001 team had already gone. And our 2000 team was even better than that team. If this hasn't finished the argument, I'm going to come in with a third video. And I know you guys want to see the comedy, except it's real. It's not even comedy.
Yeah.
I just make it sound funny. But it's really a one-sided fight. It's a first-round knockout. Joe Burrow is crushed. He's crushed. Maybe they hang in for a quarter. Maybe they get to halftime. And our coaching staff was much better.
Yeah.
Ed Orgeron was at the University of Miami practice field. He's there often. He told our crew, you guys were different. He knows. He knows.
Yeah.
He knows. Is he going to come out and say it? He's a Louisiana guy. Is he going to make himself look bad? No, he's got to do the political thing. But he told us.
He told a former player.
Players.
No, players, but.
Don't shortchange it. Players.
Yep.
Like, he knows what it was, man.
Yeah.
He knows. And that's not taking anything away from LSU. I cheered for them. They were exciting as hell to watch. I really loved watching that team. It was fun. Because they were going to score, and they were going to give it up like a cheap prostitute. They were giving it up.
So here, let me say this. So this was one point that I see a lot in the comments was people are like, come on, man, Miami would have never won that game. They almost lost to Boston College.
Really? LSU was up 7 at home against the Gators at the end of the third quarter. They beat Auburn 23-20 at home. Auburn was ranked number 9. They were not that good, okay? They had a fourth down conversion against Texas. I remember they were on the road. That was a tough win. Texas had just beaten Notre Dame the week before. I remember like it was yesterday. Okay, so LSU didn't just go. LSU did serious business in the playoffs. They beat an Oklahoma team which had no defense. Nobody showed up. They had no defense, right? And then they beat down Clemson really, really bad. It was a home game for LSU, not to take anything away from them. He was having his way, Burrow. But they did all their business in those last 2 games against Oklahoma and against Clemson. So Miami struggled against BC. Big deal. Does that mean they what? Like, come on, man. You're going to get challenged. That's always been a tough game for Miami. Any way you slice it, it's a cold game. It means everything to BC. Miami's showing up. That's just how upsets happen in that regard. When another team's, it's their Super Bowl and you show up just not really into it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Miami's never played good in the cold.
And whatever it was,
historically,
if you look at that team and how it's constructed and built, you cannot say there's ever been a greater team in the history of college football, talent-wise, than what that team produced. Not only undefeated and won the title, albeit 12 games. It's not their fault. They played years earlier. But from a talent standpoint and what they accomplished next level, you can't even come close to a comparison. You can't even come close to a comparison. It's not even you. Who's second? Not who's first. Who's second?
Yeah.
Who's second?
I'd put them in the category.
Listen, LSU's got four sexy highlight players. Burrow, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Derek Stingley. Devin White's had a decent career young. Patrick Queen's had an okay career. Talk to me what you got beyond that.
Yeah.
I just gave you 20 guys and 46 Pro Bowls. What the fuck are we talking about?
I know.
What are we talking about?
Almost the whole entire secondary was in the first round.
That's like putting me standing next to Shaquille O'Neal. Who's taller? That's the comparison. I'm done. Listen, we're going to do a third. If we don't get the commentary and the feedback that I expect, I'm coming back for a third final episode. And it's just going to be an exhibit. It's not even going to be words. Anybody who wants to really get into the nuts and bolts, man, just take this tape right here and just hit play. That's it.
Yeah.
Vince Wilfork, second team. Kellen Winslow, the Mackey Award winner, second team. I don't care where he is now. Where was he then?
Absolutely.
What are we talking about?
Shocking from you.
What are we talking about?
Really
by the way, Brett Romberg, the Remington Award winner, best center. I don't know if he got drafted. I think he may have been a free agent. I think he went to play for the Rams.
He won a Super Bowl with the Rams.
Did he?
Yeah.
Brett Romberg, center. He was voted the best center in the country.
And then Brian McKinney, who had a face Dwight Freeney, never gave up a sack in college football.
We didn't give up a sack until the 7th game of the year against Temple. I remember it was a missed assignment. Safety came in from the backside. Man, this is like it's not even a comparison. LSU's got 4 players. Everyone worries. Everyone sees that sexy offense. They were scoring 50 and 60 a game. Yeah, they were. They weren't scoring 50 and 60 against us. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Man, I can tell you that. We gave up 9 points a game. we didn't play the same offenses that LSU played against. I am going to agree and acknowledge and give that. But yo, we were fucking epic, legendary, historic.
Absolutely. What tackle, left tackle or right tackle, never gives up a sack in their entire college career? I've
Dude,
never
that guy,
even,
listen,
that's
Brian McKinney. Brian
ridiculous.
McKinney was so big and his wingspan so long that honestly, they could have put him on the line and not even used a. They could have put him at center and not even used a guard at tackle. It was
They were, in that
ridiculous.
Syracuse game, they were saying Dwight Freeney was going to crush this guy.
Yeah,
And
we,
he
we
didn't even have one.
yeah, we beat them. We
Unbelievable.
beat them 65-0.
Yeah, no, it's just, it's a really stupid it really, I hope this cleared it up for everyone. I don't know what else
I
needs to
hope
be
it didn't.
said.
I'm looking to do a third video.
I don't know what else needs to be said, but guys, please click that subscribe button. We're dropping videos every week like this for you guys. And as always, we'll catch you on the next one.